Greetings, everyone. Welcome. And you can see, once again, I'm actually trying to get my one of my platforms together over here. I'm on multiple platforms. And so I just want to welcome everyone to our mini series on utilizing laxatives inside of the body. And so we are on part 3 of 4. And in this one, we are going to talk about the dark side of using laxatives, which I think all of it is dark, but we're talking about the emotional side of using laxatives and how that can actually impact the body. So I'm just waiting on just a few more people to come on the TikTok side, because I took a little bit for me to start the timer on the TikTok side. But just give them like a few more seconds. So what we're going to do actually, okay, welcome everyone on TikTok. Thank you for coming. We are continuing with our mini series on utilizing laxatives for the gut. And today, and this is part 3 of 4, I did actually 1 and 2 earlier. And let me just make sure my phone is plugged in. Sorry. Okay. I actually did part 1 and 2 earlier, where we talked about the emotional aspect of utilizing laxatives. We talked about some of the things that can go wrong, what's causing problems inside of the digestive tract. So what I'm going to do is briefly just go over that again so that I can catch everyone up to speed, and then we'll keep moving forward with the talk that we're going to have today about utilizing laxatives and what are some of the emotional problems that can come into play when you're using laxatives. So let me just introduce myself. I'm Sage Joya. I am a former accountant, was in corporate America for more than a decade, and now I am a mind-gut health practitioner. I've been so for the last 25 years, and I love every bit of it. I'm really happy that I had the career change because I really enjoy helping people to heal their gut. I feel like there shouldn't be anyone that has to suffer with gut dysfunction. So I really enjoy the work that I do. And then the last thing is that I am a certified quantum biologist, newly certified, and I'm loving combining the work of a mind-gut health practitioner with that of a quantum biologist, because there's so much more opportunity to heal the gut when you have multiple things working for you. So let me just tell you a little bit of my backstory. When I was 5 years old, I overdosed on laxatives because I was home alone, and my mother used to give me chocolate laxatives. So I thought I wanted a piece of chocolate. So I did whatever I needed to do to get up into the cabinet and get this chocolate. And my mother always gave me a half a square of the chocolate, but I decided that I wanted 3 pieces of the chocolate. Now, at 5 years old, I didn't quite understand why my mother only gave me half a square. I thought she just didn't want me to have a lot of chocolate. But I came to find out, because I took 3 squares, that it was definitely too much for my body, and I didn't want to do that again. But one of the things that I came to understand is that my mother didn't quite understand what happens when you are giving a child laxatives all the time. And that's what many of us need to know today. We need to know what are the repercussions of taking laxatives, because it's not necessarily great for your body. If you're doing it once every now and again, then okay. But I happen to know from working with clients that people are taking laxatives on a regular basis to go to the bathroom, which isn't necessarily a great thing, right? So these are some of the things that can happen when you're taking laxatives on a regular basis. You start to train the digestive muscle so that it doesn't work on its own, because that digestive muscle is saying, okay, you're doing all the work for me, and so I don't need to do the work because you're giving me something that's going to help me go to the bathroom. That's actually called an atonic colon. When that muscle gets really sluggish and it starts to slow down, that means that it's not going to work. But the problem with that is it takes a long time to retrain that muscle. One of the things that happened to me as a child, in addition to using laxatives, I used antibiotics all of the time as well. And we now know from studies that when you're taking antibiotics, you shouldn't take them any longer than 3 months. And for me, I was taking laxatives for years at a time. And so my gut microbiome was destroyed. And in addition to having that destruction with my gut microbiome, I also had a digestive muscle that wasn't working very well. So it was very difficult for me to go to the bathroom. I went to the bathroom once every other week, and the doctor said that was normal for my particular body type. Now, I know it sounds like crazy for somebody to go to the bathroom once every other week, but being a mind gut practitioner, I also have met tons of people that don't go to the bathroom for at least a month, which I thought was like crazy. And I didn't think that anyone could survive that, but I now know people can survive that. It's not healthy and it's very dangerous, but people do have that level of a problem being able to release waste material from the body, which causes people to go and use laxatives. So that said, one of the things that I want to talk about today is what type of people will use laxatives. Well, there's 4 types of people that I like to classify as people that will reach for a laxative. And one type of person is person that is chronically constipated, where they are never going to the bathroom, it seems like, and so they're reaching for laxatives. And quite understandably, because it can feel really comfortable to have a lot of waste material sitting inside of the colon, and so they will reach for that laxative. The second type of person that'll reach for laxatives is somebody that is experiencing bulimia. They are reaching for the laxative because they are trying to lose weight, or they have a fear of gaining more weight, and so they're reaching for those laxatives. The third type of person is one that has anorexia. They are reaching for the laxatives because they don't want to gain any weight. They want to stay skinny. And then the very last type of person that is reaching for laxatives is a person that is having a lot of emotional feelings. They don't feel good enough. They feel like they're inadequate. They just have really low self-esteem. And that type of person might get into the binging and the purging, just like bulimia and anorexia. So they're reaching for the laxatives because they feel like they're full on the inside and they just want to release. And if they could release something, then it'll make them feel better on the inside. Of course, we know that that's not going to happen. They're still going to feel those bad feelings. That feeling is very temporary, but that's another type of person that will reach for laxatives. Now, the problem with that, again, is what I had talked about earlier, is that you're going to start to either develop into an atonic colon that will not move. And it's because that muscle has been trained to stop working. Or B, we'll get into something like pseudo-obstruction, where you think that there's something on the digestive tract and the colon has some waste material that it needs to move, but in all actuality, there's nothing there. And that's when it feels very psychological, because it wreaks havoc on the mind, because you're thinking, I know I have something in there to move, but because of the conditioning from the laxative use on a regular basis, there's actually nothing there to move, and it can drive you crazy. And so laxative use is very, very tricky. It's one of the reasons why I try to teach alternative ways that we can utilize different materials, different substances, or just resources in the environment to help us to go to the bathroom. So I'll get into that in just a few minutes about like the different things that you can choose to go to the bathroom. But for a moment, let's just talk about the emotional aspect of utilizing laxatives. Why would somebody reach for laxatives in that emotional place? Well, often, like I talked about before, a person is feeling really uncomfortable inside of their body. And with that discomfort, whether it is like they feel like they're overweight, or maybe they're having problems in their relationship, or maybe they're having problems at work, but emotions play a really key role in your digestive function. And why is that possible? So I know the people on TikTok, you can't really see my screen, but the people on LinkedIn and YouTube and Facebook, you can see the screen. And so I'm going to place a slide on the screen. And here you have the gut-brain axis. And because of the mind-gut connection, that's the reason why emotions can play a really strong role in impacting the relationship that you have with going to the bathroom. A lot of people are not aware that your colon actually is more than just a physical storage unit for waste material. The colon actually stores emotional material as well. So because we have the gut-brain axis, where the brain and the colon, or particularly the entire digestive tract, but the colon is the very last stop of the digestive tract. And so there's constant communication that's happening. It's a looping conversation that's taking place between the brain and the gut. And because of that conversation, that is how that emotional data is getting stuck inside of the digestive tract. So technically, the way it works, I'll just kind of summarize it. You're perceiving something to be true in your life. So let's just say you're watching a commercial and it takes you back to something that happened in your childhood, and it just triggers this emotion. So you have this perception, and then you start thinking about that thing that happened to you as a child, and you start to get upset. And so now you have this emotion that has been created because of what you're perceiving on the screen in front of you. That emotion is going to represent a chemical, and that chemical turns into, it is a signaling molecule that travels through the body. And that signaling molecule, when it starts traveling, it's looking for a receptor on a cell where it can transmit that information. And when it transmits that information, then the body says, hey, we're not happy. We are not feeling well. And that's how you get this emotional data that actually turns into physical matter that is actually stuck inside of the colon. And so now here you are, you have physical waste material as well as emotional data that you now need to release from the body. And that's where it gets really, really tricky, because often when people are trying to heal their gut and they're going to the different gurus or the doctor, and you're getting these pills and these laxatives, and you're having temporary results, and you can't figure out why do you keep having these problems all the time. Like, you'll try one thing, it works for a little while, and then you have the problems again, or the problems are worse. And that's because you're not actually addressing the emotional data that's sitting right inside of the digestive tract, particularly in the colon. And so the goal is to address that emotional data at the same time that you're trying to excavate the physical data, so you can actually have some success with healing your gut. So one of the other things that I wanted to get into today is what are some of the physical consequences that you experience because you're taking laxatives on a regular basis. And one of those things could be that your body is becoming very dehydrated. Many people don't know that when they're taking laxatives, that laxative has to have some kind of liquid that is going to help it to release that physical waste material from the body. Well, where is it going to extract that liquid from? It's going to extract it from the body, because that's what it does. But the problem is that often when people are taking laxatives, even before they're taking the laxatives, they're actually very dehydrated, and they're becoming even more dehydrated. Thank you so much for sending me the hearts. I appreciate it. So they're becoming more dehydrated, and when they take these laxatives and it's extracting the water, and then the body is becoming even more dehydrated. So now you have a problem inside of your digestive tract, because again, there's not enough hydration to participate in the process of releasing that physical waste material from the body. So I just have to pause for a second. I can't believe, like, I'm totally sweating. It's so hot underneath these lights. So you guys do see me perspiring, which is normally not my thing, but for whatever reason, I'm really sweating. But at least I have enough hydration inside of my body to perspire. But at any rate, so the one thing that you want to work on is the hydration inside of your body. And I'm going to talk about that in a few minutes. Like, what are some of the things that you can do to increase that hydration inside of the body, so that you can have better results with releasing physical waste material from the body. And we can also talk about what are some of the exercises that you can do to release that emotional data from the body as well. So one of the other things that can happen, I have to look at my notes here, because of that dehydration, you, of course, will have that chronic inflammation. But the other thing that you are facing is that many people don't know the immune system, the largest part of your immune system is sitting actually right inside of the colon. So we now know that the gut has been coined the second brain, but we also know now that bacteria are very participatory in our immune system. They help us to regulate our immune system. Well, the greatest concentration of bacteria inside of our body is actually sitting right inside of the colon. In fact, in just one drop of fluid, you have more than 1 billion bacteria that's sitting in one drop of colon fluid inside of your body. So studies have said, I think it's like about 39 trillion of bacteria are sitting right inside of the colon. So it is a huge source of immunity. So if you're having gut problems and you can't figure out why you're not healing, but you're having problems going to the bathroom, well, guess what? If you're having problems going to the bathroom because you're constipated, that means that you have an imbalance inside of your colon. That's called dysbiosis. And when you have that dysbiosis, if you have that imbalance, it's going to have an impact on your immune system. And then the next thing you know, you're having immune problems as well as your inability to go to the bathroom. They actually go hand in hand. So you need that hydration to help you to clear that imbalance inside of the body, so then you can increase your immune system and then you can have better results on your gut health journey. That's one of the things that I really suffered as a child. I had major immune failure. When the wind blew, I was sick. I had major chronic yeast infections. If you go into my TikTok, I have a video that's pinned to the top, and I list all of the ailments that I was dealing with as a child. And then I talk about how, well, I'm not really talking in that video, but I do state that I'm more than 30 years medication free because I went on this long journey trying to figure out, how do I heal my body? Like, I cannot accept that I'm supposed to be sick all the time. And thank goodness that I did, because as a result, I was able to become a mind gut health practitioner for the last 25 years and help so many people. So let's talk about, like, what would be some of the solutions that you would implement into your lifestyle so that you can start moving some of this emotional data out of the body and moving some of this physical waste material out of the body. I think that I will give you maybe like 3 things that you can do. The first thing that I love to do when I am having like emotional culmination that's happening inside of the body, or if I'm having a lot of physical waste material, I happen to know that maybe somewhere along the line, I have a decrease in my dehydration and in my hydration. So how do I increase the hydration inside of my body? Well, one thing that you can do is use a far infrared sauna. So many people don't know that we have what has now been scientifically rediscovered for the second time, water inside of our body. This water is called H3O2. And what it's like a crystalline gel-like substance. And it really helps us to manage our immune system among so many other things. It's made at the mitochondrial level. But in many cases, because of so many different factors that are happening inside of our life, like blue light, toxic exposure from your TVs and your computer screens and the lights inside of your house, that hydration that we have available for that H3O2 actually is not enough to support us, because the blue light toxicity is actually extracting some of that hydration. So how do you increase it? There are many ways, but one of the ways that I like to increase it is with the far infrared sauna. The far infrared sauna, when those red lights start to, and it's a light that you can't see, but when it starts to penetrate our body, it actually penetrates the cells and it causes the cells to vibrate. And then when those cells start vibrating, it dumps the toxins out of the cell. And it also helps to increase the hydration, that H3O2 that I talked about inside of the body. So I love, love, love my far infrared sauna. I've been using it since 2011, and it really does help to balance me out. So that's one way that you can increase the hydration inside of your body, at least that healing water inside of your body. Now, at this juncture, I do want to say I want to invite you to my 4-day challenge that's coming up, because at the challenge, we spend 4 days together, and for an hour a day, I teach you all about the little nuances of everything that I'm talking about today, but we slow it down. And I teach you how to identify the emotional data that's inside of your body. I teach you how to address that data and excrete it from the body at the same time that you're releasing that physical waste. I teach you, as a quantum biologist, I teach you how you have quantum mechanisms that are built inside of your body that are in alignment with the environment. So I teach you how you can utilize the environment to actually heal your digestive system for free. So you definitely want to come to the challenge, because it's chock full of information that will help you to not only heal your digestive tract, but you can also heal many other elements that are taking place inside of the body. So whichever platform you are on, I think if you're on TikTok, maybe you can go to YouTube. I know I have a guide on TikTok that eventually will lead you to the challenge, but if you go to YouTube or any of my other platforms, you can definitely connect directly to the challenge. You want to secure a seat as soon as possible, because there's only so many people I can take in, and once the seats are up, then I have to close the doors. But you definitely want to come to the challenge. So back to the next thing that you can do to start to heal your body, increase that hydration, and release the physical and emotional waste from the body. One of the things that I love to do is deep breathing. And I know, like, everybody sighs when they hear the deep breathing part, because it's like, I'm already breathing. Like, what else do I need to do? But most often we are shallow breathers, and we really don't breathe with the intention of helping our digestive tract to actually release this emotional and physical data from the body. So there's something out called box breathing. And when you take a deep breath in through your nose, you hold it for 4 seconds, and then you exhale through your mouth, and you hold it for 4 seconds, and then you repeat that process. And so let's just try it real quick. You take a deep breath in through your nose, and then you hold, and then you exhale through your mouth. And I'm telling you, when you repeat this process and you get into the habit of doing this, now I know it takes a minute to get into the habit of it. I teach people how to do this on a regular basis, so I am a deep breather. But I will tell you, if you start practicing this, whenever you think about it, then what you can do, whenever you're sitting on the toilet and you're having difficulty releasing that data from the body, you start your deep breathing. And the reason being is because our digestive tract, and I'm just going to show a different slide on the other platforms, and TikTok, I'm sorry, but if you watch the replay on YouTube, you'll be able to see the slides. When you take a deep breath in through your nose and you exhale, the digestive tract has an entire lumen. It starts with the mouth and it ends at the anus. And basically it's a long tube. And when you're doing that breath work, the tube opens up. And so in the colon area, if there is material that is sitting there, it's a great recipe for helping that material to leave out of the body. So you definitely want to employ that deep breathing, and that will help you to release that physical data. But then it also helps on the mitochondrial level to try to support restoration of the mitochondria so that it can contribute to releasing that H3O2 water that actually really will serve your body, not just your gut health, but your entire body in terms of healing. So the third thing that I would suggest that you do to try to release emotional and physical data from the body and to increase your water hydration is create intention-based water. Now, what is intention-based water? It's so easy to make. So you take your filtered water, prayerfully you're not using tap water, and then you get a sticky note. And on the sticky note, you write what it is that you're looking for. So let's just say that you're having stomach pain. So you might write on this sticky note, stomach wellness or stomach clearance or whatever it is that comes to mind for you, the words that resonate with you. And then you take that sticky note and you apply it to the glass of water, and then you just let it sit for a minute. Now, the thing you have to understand is when you write words on a paper, those words carry weight. And the other thing that you should understand is that science has now proven that water has memory. And so if you apply this sticky note to your water, the water will actually carry the memory of the words that you wrote on the paper. So I actually have a big jar, like a lemonade jar, and I have a few stickies that are on my lemonade jar. And when I write my sticky notes, they all surround kind of like the same thing. So if I was trying to achieve health inside of my body, I might write like stomach wellness and gut wellness and eye strength, anything that I was looking for, and I would apply it because all of those things that I'm asking for they all surround my health. And so I would apply it to the jar, and then I would let it sit on the jar for 24 hours for me. A lot of people, they drink theirs right away, but I like to feel like my words are really, the vibration of the words are really penetrating the water. So I do let it sit for some time, and then you drink it. And I will tell you that this is a great way for you to increase the hydration inside of your body, especially because I know a lot of people are not water drinkers and you really want to be. If you could substitute your coffees and your teas and your sodas for water, it would really help your hydration levels. Now, when we get to part 4 of this mini series that I'm doing, I'm actually going to give you a different way that you will really be able to increase your hydration levels. And it's fantastic. Like your whole entire body will feel the benefits of this hydration. So now, the very last thing that I'm going to ask you guys to do to help you to release physical and emotional data from the body. Excuse me. Okay. The very last thing I'm going to ask you to do is when you're sitting on the toilet, I want you to think about some of the things that are bothering you and that have been serving as roadblocks in your life. So let's just say, like, go back to the example of you don't like your job and you're looking for a new job. And so you think about, how is that impacting me? Like, do I feel stressed about it? Do I feel like the end of the world is coming because I hate my job? Like, what do I feel like? And then what I would like for you to do is I want you to turn on the water at the faucet in your bathroom. But when you turn on the water, I just want it to be like a trickle of water. I don't want you to like have the water going forceful. Now, the reason why I want you to have this trickle of water, and when I talk about trickle of water, think about in the winter time when you're going to leave your house, but it's really cold outside, and you're going to leave the water running, just a trickle of it to keep your pipes from freezing. That's how slow I want the water to run while you're turning on this water. And the reason why I want you to do this is because your body, depending on your age, is made of 60 to 80% water. And when you take the water at the faucet and you turn it on and you're doing your deep breathing, you're thinking about the things that you would like to release from your body, that you want a new job and you want more balance in your life, you want better relationships, then what's going to happen is that water actually resonates with the water that's taking place inside of the body. And when you're doing your deep breathing and that lumen tract is opening up, it really is a great recipe for helping you to release physical and emotional data from the body. Now, does it take time? Yes, this is conditioning. This is something that I teach my clients to do. You're conditioning your body, and you'll find that if you stick to it, you need stick-to-itness, then eventually your body will actually respond to that trickle of water that's coming from the faucet. It's like amazing, and it's free. So I suggest that you guys really start to try to practice this, because it would be really, really helpful in terms of overcoming the physical and emotional changes inside of your body and overcoming your dependence on laxatives. So I believe that's it for today. So we have been through series number 1, 2, and 3. And if you missed any of them that are like chock full of information, I definitely want you to go on YouTube and watch the replay. The other thing that I would love for you guys to do, oh, you're welcome, Antoinette. Antoinette says, thanks for the deep breathing information. So here's the thing that I want you guys to know. I truly love the work that I do in helping people to achieve gut health. And I know it took me 25 years to figure all of this out. And then I was able to step into this role. But the thing of it is, I feel like no one should have to take 25 years to figure out how to improve their digestive tract. For me, I think that if you have the right tools and the right knowledge, you can heal your digestive tract relatively easy. And you just have to have stick-to-itness. You have to stick to your protocol. And so that's where I'm inviting you guys to come to the challenge. I promise you, if you come to the challenge and we spend 4 days together, you actually get a chance to talk to me one-on-one. At some point, I have a Q&A, and you can get on screen, and we're on screen together, and I'm answering your questions to make sure that you get the support that you need to heal your digestive tract. There's no reason for you to take years and try 50 million products just so that you can heal your digestive tract. Like, that doesn't need to be. So come to the challenge and make sure that you get the help that you need to heal your body. Go to YouTube and look at any of the replays. And if you have any questions, either DM me on one of the platforms or write the question below the video, or find any one of my videos, a video on TikTok or anywhere else, and just write the question. I'll know it came from the live, and I'll answer your question, because the bottom line is I'm in this position because I'm here to serve, because I want to make sure that you're living in a body that feels whole. You're living in a body where you feel aligned. You're living in a body where you feel good about where you're going in life, because the bottom line is we have desire. And most often when you have desire and you're not getting what you're looking for from that desire, you're going to have digestive issues. I mean, they just go hand in hand. It's like, it's that emotional content that I talked about, that emotional data gets stuck inside of the colon. And so the goal here is not only to just teach you how to heal your digestive tract, but I also at the same time have to teach you how to address that emotional data. And once you learn how to do both, to release that physical data and that emotional data at the same time, the other thing that I'm teaching you is how to come into alignment with that thing that you really desire in life. And once you're able to find the courage to start taking the steps toward that thing that you desire, everything changes. It's a game changer. So definitely make sure you get to the challenge. Make sure you watch the videos that I have available that's going to support you on your journey. And then I will see you guys again tomorrow for the last part of this mini series. I will be online tomorrow morning at 9:30. Remember, if you can't make it, you can always watch the replays, and make sure that you follow me and you smash that like button wherever you are, because I appreciate all you guys being online today and having the opportunity to talk to you. And if you could continue to support me, that would be helpful. All right, so everyone, I want you to have a good night, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye.